Question 1. Which of the following is equivalent to 3/4? Is it 6/10, 15 over 20, 70 over 100, or 150 over 250? To get an equivalent fraction, we can multiply the top and bottom by the same number, or divide the top and bottom by the same number. So if we took 3/4 and multiplied the top by 5, we'd get 15. And if we multiplied the bottom by 5, we'd get 20. So the equivalent fraction out of those choices ends up being 15 over 20. One way to get that answer is to simplify 6 over 10 and then 15 over 20 and 70 over 100 and 150 over 250 and see which one simplifies down to be 3/4. Question 2. 2/5 converted to a percentage is 20%, 40%, 60%, or 80%. To convert a fraction to a percentage, we multiply the fraction by 100. Here that would mean 2 over 5 times 100 over 1. We multiply across the top, get 200. We multiply across the bottom, we get 5. So we can then simplify that by dividing by 5. The bottom of the fraction divides into the top, so it's 200 divided by 5, and we get an answer of 40%. Question 3. 3/5 converted to a decimal is 0.03, 0.3, 0.06, or 0.6. To convert a fraction to a decimal, we divide the bottom of the fraction into the top. We can do that by setting up a short division here, 5 dividing into 3, and we can write 3 as 3.000, put a few zeros at the end of it. We're allowed to do that. And that gives us a decimal point to work with as well. So 5 goes into 3, no it doesn't. Then we have the decimal point that goes above it in our answer. And then the 3 carries over. So then we're asking ourselves, how many 5s go into 30? And the answer there is 6. So there aren't any remainders when 5 goes into 30, it goes exactly 6 times. So that means that our decimal version of 3/5 is 0.6. Question 4. The value of 3/4 minus 7/20 is 1/4, 12/20, 4/20, or 2/5. We need to make the bottoms the same before we subtract fractions. So what we'll do is find a number that we can turn 4 into and 20 into, and 4 goes into 20. So we're allowed to multiply the bottom by 5 and get 20. We're converting 3/4 into something over 20. Now we've multiplied the bottom by 5 and we need to do the same to the top. Whatever you do to the bottom of a fraction, you need to do that to the top as well. So we'll multiply the top by 5. 3 times 5 is 15. So 3/4 is 15 over 20, and that's good because it's then got the same bottom as the 7 over 20 we had in the question as well. So then we subtract across the top. 15 minus 7 equals 8, and we keep the bottoms the same in these. So we get 8 over 20. Now our last step, we always need to simplify fractions if it's possible. So can we see a number that can go into 8 and 20? That biggest number that goes into each is 4. So we'll divide the top by 4 and the bottom by 4. we'll end up with 2/5. That's the option D in our question. So what did we do there? We made the bottoms the same by converting 3/5 into something over 20. We followed the rule, whatever we do to the bottom, we've got to do to the top. Then once we had the same bottoms there, we subtracted across the top, we kept the bottoms the same, and then we simplified by finding a number that goes into the top and bottom and dividing those in. Question 5. 5/8 of a pizza is eaten. What fraction of the pizza is left? Is it 5/8, 3/8, 1/4, or 5/4? Now, one whole pizza cut into 8 pieces can be thought of as being 8/8. That makes up one whole. That's one whole representing one whole pizza there. Now if we ate 5/8 and we need to find out how much is left, that's a subtraction question. So we've got 8/8 and 5/8. We've got the same bottoms there, so we can just subtract across the top and get 3. Keep the bottoms the same and we get 8. So we've discovered there that 3/8 of the pizza is left when 5/8 of the pizza is eaten. Question 6. Which one of the following is a mixed numeral? We have 3/5, 2/7, 5/8, or 2 2/3. A mixed numeral is a mixture of a whole number and a fraction. The only one there that's got a whole number and a fraction is option D, 2 2/3. Question 7. Which one of the following is an improper fraction? 5/9, 2/3, 1/8, or 9/7? An improper fraction, they have the bigger number on the top. So the only option there, the only answer there that's got the bigger number on the top of the fraction is 9/7 or 9/7. Question 8. What fraction of 200 is 50? Answer in simplest form. We can think of this question as 50 out of 200. It's like a student scoring 50 marks out of 200. Not a great mark, is it? But it's like a fraction with the smaller number on top and the large number on the bottom. So we have 50 over 200 if we set it up like a fraction. And so we then are asked to answer in simplest form. So to simplify this, we look to find the biggest number that can go into 50 and 200. And I think you'll agree that 50 can go into each. So we'll divide that into the top and the bottom. 50 divided by 50 on the top leaves us with 1 because it goes in once. And 200 divided by 50, 50 goes into 200 4 times. So the fraction, when they're asking us what fraction of 200 is 50, ends up being a quarter. We could say that 50 is a quarter of 200. Question 9. Compare the sizes of 2/5 and 1/4. Which one of the following statements are true? We have 2/5 is bigger, 1/4 is bigger, they are the same size, or it's not possible to tell. Okay, to compare fractions we need to make the bottoms the same and then compare them. Because it's very difficult to figure out whether 2/5 is bigger than 1/4 without having the same bottoms and then comparing the tops. So let's turn each of them into something out of 20. Now I picked 20 because if I do 5 times 4 I get 20. That kind of proves that 5 can go into 20 and 4 can go into 20. We need some number like that to turn the bottoms into. So we have a rule that says whatever you do to the bottom of a fraction you must do to the top. To turn the 5 in the 2/5 into 20, I would have needed to multiply that 5 by 4. So I need to do the same to the top, multiply it by 4. So I'll get 2/5 turning into 8/20. And for the quarter there, to turn the 4 into a 20, I would have needed to multiply the bottom by 5. And I need to do the same to the top. So 1 times 5 for the top there is 5. So now I can see whether the first fraction or the second fraction is larger. We've got 8/20 and 5/20, so certainly the first of those two fractions, in this case 2/5, is the larger one. So the correct answer there is that 2/5 is bigger. Question 10. 2/3 divided by 5/8 is equivalent to 2/3 times 5/8, 3/8 divided by 2/5, 2/8 divided by 3/5, or 2/3 times 8/5. There's a rule that says when you're dividing by a fraction, we turn the second fraction upside down, then multiply. It's a funny old rule. But if we take the question 2/3 divided by 5/8, we can say, okay, the 2/3 stays the same, and then we turn the second fraction upside down. If we turn 5/8 upside down, it becomes 8/5, and the rule says that we multiply. So that it turns out to be the arrangement of option D. So D is our answer in that one.